YouTube, what's going on, fam, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over the top 5 long-range options to use in Warzone right now from the Season 5 mid-season update, as there has been a lot of changes to the long season meta, especially since Season 5 to now the mid-season. I'll be going from 5 to 1 in this list, and I'll be going over all the attachments and tunings with you guys for each and every weapon, and I'll be giving a brief description of why I believe these are the top 5 long-range options in Warzone right now. If you guys could drop a like on this video, hit the subscribe button, and be sure to share and tell a friend. I would truly appreciate it. I will have a close range video coming within the next day or so. I will only be covering long range option in this video specifically, but I will have a close range option coming very soon. And without further ado, let's get into the loadouts. Okay, so starting off with number 5 in this list, yes, we have the Cronin Squall. Yes, it is still a top 5 option, guys, even after its massive nerf that it got in the Season 5 mid-season update. And you're still seeing a lot of pros use this right now, and still seeing a lot of people use this in Warzone ranked. And that's personally because I think it's just familiarity with the gun. I think once the Warzone pros, obviously it won't take them long to figure this out because they are the best of the best, but once they start figuring out what else is, what's the new meta as such, going forward, you will start to see a lot of people move away from the Cronin and onto the other options, which I will be talking about obviously later in this video. But for now, the Cronin is still very top tier, and it's still definitely a top 5 option in the long range meta right now, because the only thing, the TTK was the only thing that got nerfed to it. The recoil pattern is pretty much still the same. The control, it still feels the same. It just takes a little bit longer now to down the enemies. So he did get hit pretty hard though with that prior to what it was doing prior to the nerf. So going over the attachments, we got the Sack and Tread 40 for the muzzle. For the barrel, we got the HR 6.8. For the optic, I got the SZ recharge for the optic. Like I always say though, guys, it is personal preference with the optic, especially. You could run the AMO PV4 or whatever optic you want to use, whatever you're comfortable with. I've gone with the recharge optic on this occasion. For the underbarrel, we've got the FTAC Ripper 56, and then we've got the 50 round drum for the magazine. Moving on to the tuning now, we've got 0.60 positive to help with that recoil stabilization, and then we've got 0.35 to improve that recoil control. For the barrel, we got 0.40 positive for that recoil steadiness, and then we got 0.4 positive to improve that damage range. And for the optic, as always, guys, if you guys watch my videos, it's all the way down the left side for the ADS speed, and we always keep it neutral for the close to far. And for the underbarrel, we got 0.8 positive for the recoil stabilization, and then 0.3 positive to improve that aiming ideal stability, and then obviously no tuning on the 50 round drum. Okay, so moving on to number 4 in the list, we have the Wrap H. Honestly, an option that you won't see a lot of people talking about because it is a clunky LMG. There's no getting away from it, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you about it. This thing feels heavy. It's clunky, and yeah, if you're worried, if you want to move sort of fast around the map, if you want to be that mobile player, then I wouldn't recommend this option. But if you are that player, it's like a slower, more positioning, thinking about positioning, then honestly, this is the gun for you. It has a high TTK like all LMGs do. In theory, they're all just clunky, but this one especially has a high TTK, and the recoil on this is basically non-existent. So yeah, if you are that sort of slower player that wants to play for position, I would highly recommend this Wrap H. I had to put it in this list just because I know majority of people will not use it because it is so clunky, and the reload time is horrendous on it as well, for the 75 rounds that it has. It's just an option I have to put in this because of the high TTK and the 0 recoil. So this is a gun just with personal preference. Like I said, if you are a slower player, honestly, this is the perfect weapon for you. Like, use this, and honestly, you have so much fun with it, and it is very easy to use, like I've already said. So coming in the number 4 spot, we do have the Wrap H, and we'll go with the attachments now. We've got the Sack and Tread 40 for the muzzle. We've got the FSS Olive laser. For the optic, we've got the AMO PV4, and for the underbarrel, we've got the FTAC Ripper 56, and then for the rear grip, we got the Lockman TCG 10. Going over the tunings, we got 0.60 positive for the recoil stabilization, and then 0.35 positive for the recoil control. For the laser, we're just prioritizing ADS speed and sprint to fire speed, so it's all the way down the left side and all the way to the left on the bottom. For the optic, guys, same tune as always, all the way down on the left. For the under barrel, we have 0.45 it should be to improve that recoil stabilization, and then 0.3 positive to improve that aiming ideal stability. And then for the rear grip, we have 0.85 it should be to help with that recoil steadiness, and then 0.40 positive it should be for the aiming ideal stability. Coming in at the number 3 spot, we have the Callofduty 762, aka the AMAX. Honestly, guys, this gun is insane. Like, it is honestly insane. But what I would say about it is that it is a high-level player gun if you're going to get the most out of it. So I think, so as I was talking about with the Cronin earlier, with people sort of moving on to sort of from the Cronin to other guns, this is definitely one of them that I think they will be moving on to. Just because if you are that high-level Warzone Pro top 250 level caliber of player, you will get the most out of this gun, and honestly it will feel insane to you. The biggest issue with it is the 40 round mag. At the end of the day, the damage output that it puts is crazy. The TTK is crazy good, but the damage per mag that you get from it is not very good. So if you do miss a few shots with it, then you are struggling. You will be struggling to sort of wipe squads with this if you are missing a few shots. But the top elite players will be able to use this gun and get the most out of this gun, which is why for me it comes in the number 3 spot, because the risk to reward ratio with this is very rewarding if you do hit your shots with it. And honestly, this thing is absolutely insane. There are a few adjustments I would make to this. So the build that you guys are seeing now, I would say this is more of a resurgence build as such, because it's a smaller map, so you can get away with using like the sack and tread 40 for example on the muzzle. But I will show you guys the Al Mazrah sort of battle royale sort of ranked build as well, and what the one attachment I would change, which would be on the muzzle. But I'll quickly go through this build right now with you guys, and then I'll show you the difference of what I would do for Al Mazrah compared to Resurgence, which is the build you're looking at now. So with the muzzle, we've got the sack and tread 40. With the barrel, we've got the CAS 10 584mm barrel. For the optic, we've got the AMOP V4, once again personal choice. And for the underbarrel, we've got the FTAC Ripper 56, and then we've got the 40 round mag. So the tuning on the muzzle, we have 0.4 positive for the recoil stabilization. We have 0.35 positive for the recoil control. For the barrel, we've got 0.4 positive to help with that recoil steadiness, and then we've got 0.3 positive to help with that damage range. For the optic, as always, all the way down the left side. For the underbarrel, we got 0.60 it should be for that recoil stabilization, and then 0.30 for that aiming ideal stability, and then obviously no tuning on the 40 round mag. But if you are going to use this on Al Mazrah on the bigger map, what I would recommend is trading out the sack and tread 40 and instead put it on the ZLR Talon 5 for the muzzle, and the tuning on this will be 1.10 positive to help with that recoil smoothness, and then 1.00 to improve that bullet velocity. So coming in at the number 2 spot and just missing out on that number 1 spot is the M13B, aka the best assault rifle in Warzone right now. Yes guys, the M13 is finally top dog. I know, I've been saying it for ages. I've been saying how good the M13 is for ages, and it's finally getting its respect. And I know what you're going to say, but you just talked about how good the Callofduty 762 was and how all the Warzone pros would be using that. Yeah, I know, but the M13B is the overall best assault rifle for all players. The Callofduty 762, the only people that are going to get the benefit of the Callofduty 762 and get the most out of it are the Warzone pros and the top 250 ranked players. Those are going to be the only people that are going to get the best out of that assault rifle. The M13B, anyone can get the best out of the assault rifle, if I'm being truly honest with you. It has a great TTK, like a really good TTK. It has little to basically no recoil. I want to borderline say it has no recoil, because it literally is just so easy to use, because it is borderline no recoil. So the M13B is just the overall better assault rifle. It just is, and you'll see a lot of people using this gun because it is just so easy to use, and plus you get a great TTK from it as well. So going over the attachments, we've got the Harbinger D20 for the muzzle. For the barrel, we've got the 14 Bruin Echolon. For the optic, we've got the AMOP V4. For the underbarrel, we've got the FTAC Ripper 56, and then for the magazine, we have the 60 round mag. Going over the tunings now, we have 1.10 positive it should be for the recoil smoothness. toughness, and then 1.00 for the to help that bullet velocity. For the barrel, we got 0.4 positive for the recoil steadiness, and then we've got 0.30 positive to help to improve that damage range. For the optic, as always guys, all the way down the left side. For the under barrel, I'm sorry, I should say on this one, we've got 0.65 positive to improve that recoil stabilization, and they've got 0.3 positive for that aiming ideal stability. And then obviously no tuning on the 60 round mag. Also, just another quick point I want to put about why I think the M13B is better than the Castor 762, and why I've got it second, and why I've got the Castor 762 third. It's because of the 60 round mag that you get with the M13 as well. So the damage per mag you get from the M13B is better than the damage per mag you get from the Castor 762. So coming in at the number one spot, we actually have the first meta in Warzone 2, the RPK. Yes, the RPK in my opinion has returned to the top spot in the long range meta. I think the only thing that the reason why you won't see people using this is because once again it's an LMG, so it's a bit heavier, it feels a bit clunkier, and the mobility is worse than obviously an AR or a battle rifle, for example. But for me, overall, it is the number one long range option, and it has a fantastic TTK. It has little or very easy recoil to control, and it's just the overall number one option for me. But I still think you might see a lot of people using the M13B or the Castor 762 over the RPK just because of mobility and an assault rifle, just because overall people want to use, or sorry, people prefer to use assault rifles over LMGs. They just do. But the reload time for this 75 round standard mag isn't the worst anyway. It's not that slow, and it doesn't feel as clunky as what the Rap H does, for example, or the Sakin MG3A. So I don't really mind it too much, especially for BR or El Mazra, I should say. But yeah, I think like you might see people going with the other options just because people don't want to use an LMG. But if we're just talking long range option, this is number one in my opinion right now. So we'll go over the attachments right now. So starting with the muzzle, we got the Sakin Tread 40. For the laser, we've got the Ollie V. For the optic, we've got the AIMO PV4. For the underbarrel, we've got the FTAC Ripper 56. And then for the ammunition, we've got the 7.62 high velocity. So before I get into the tuning, guys, I just want to say the reason I picked the Sakin Tread 40 for the muzzle instead of a suppressor is because I wanted to prioritize the recoil control. So as you can see with the pros on this, I think you guys can see, I hope my webcam's not in the way, the vertical recoil control and horizontal recoil control is helped by having the Sakin Tread 40. If you add a suppressor, the only benefit you really get from it is the damage range instead, and the RPK has a decent damage range alone, and especially if I've got the 7.62 high velocity on the ammunition anyway, I can sacrifice that on the muzzle and focus on the recoil control instead, because I've got the benefit from having it as the ammunition instead. So that's why I've gone for the Sakin Tread over a suppressor. But it's completely up to you guys. If you guys want the damage range, then chuck a suppressor on. If you want to help with the recoil control, then I would highly recommend using this Sakin Tread 40. But anyway, with the tunings, it should be 0.55 positive for the recoil stabilization, and then 0.35 positive for the recoil control. Going over to the laser, as always guys, we're prioritizing sprinter fire and ADS, so all the way down the left side and then all the way to the left on the bottom. For the optic, we have, as always guys, all the way down the left side for the ADS speed. For the underbarrel, we have 0.65 positive for the recoil stabilization, and then 0.3 positive to improve that aiming ideal stability. Moving on to the ammunition, it should be 0.35 positive for that damage range, and then 2.90 for the bullet velocity. And that is your top 5 lists, guys, and that is the number one long range meta in Warzone right now, the RPK. So that is my top 5 long range meta list in Warzone right now, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you think the long range meta is? Is it any of the 5 that I mentioned, or do you guys have a secret long range meta that you haven't told me about, or you haven't told anyone about, that you are using right now? Drop it down in the comments, let me know. I'm really truly interested to know what you guys think. As always guys, I stream all my gameplay over on Twitch 3 to 4 days a week. I'll leave a link down below for my channel, and we'd love for you guys to come join the B fam over there. I always talk about all things loadout whenever there's an update or sort of any sort of nerfs and buffs or patch notes or anything like that. I always talk about it with the fam over there live on Twitch. So if you guys want to see me sort of go into more detail live on Twitch, or actually see me use the loadouts on Twitch, then yeah, click that link down below. Come join the B fam. We'd love to have you guys over there. And I know I've already asked at the beginning of the video, but if you guys could drop a like on this video, hit the subscribe button, and be sure to share and tell a friend, I would truly appreciate it. The close range change meta will be coming out in the next sort of day or so, guys. That video will be coming, like I said at the beginning of the video. But I truly appreciate, guys, if you guys could drop a like, hit the subscribe button. That would truly mean the world to me. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.